Right, so up next now, let me talk about episode 6 of Batchack Man. This is called Me Familia, right? The title of which was pretty intriguing to me, right? Just off of the title, just because of it's Spanish and whatnot, right? So yeah, what makes this pretty interesting now is that it mostly centers on, well, Batchack Man and Keon's, love interest, so to speak. Michelle Hernandez. Well,
Right.
this is the character in the show, by the way, right? If you remember, she more or less took the assignment to investigate the serum that Batchack Man found, and it may have to do with what's going on with this war, this upcoming war with the Peacemakers, right? This group that believes that they must make the wrong things right no matter what. They know that there's this mystical or magical threat that's coming, so they just want to be prepared. And it's that whole super soldier, Captain America kind of shenanigans stuff, right?
Right. Right.
It's like that, right? But here, it really centers on her, and we get like this really tragic backstory into, just really who she is and why she's in this position to begin with, right? We learn, some about her. We learn about her family, coming from Cuba and whatnot. It ends on a tragic note. That's all I will say though. But it leads to a really, tense moment involving her and a familiar foe that shows up near the end of the episode, right? And while all this is going on now, Mr. Batchack Man is still having his fight with Amina West, aka 17. So she's one of the sort of super soldier type figures that associated with the Peacemakers, right? If you remember last time, I was kind of complaining that we were supposed to get the fight, and then it just kind of stops, and it's like, oh, okay, we just have to wait for the next episode. But here they do something really interesting here. This is just me jumping to the review here one time, right? So shout out to Cindy Ledger though, because she actually wrote the story for this.
Yeah.
Who also appeared in the show here, and of course Magnolia, right? But yeah, here she handles writing duties here, man. And what I really appreciate is that, like, at first I was like, all right, you're cutting the fight to Shuma Michelle's story. I'm not too sure if this working, but in a way it actually does do. Like, it actually surprised me too, right? The beginning of it is actually pretty fun as well too. It actually, without spoiling much, kind of touches on how we all felt when we like all cooped up home because of the pandemic. That's all I'll say, right? But it's a
Right.
nice little setup into how she kind of kind of enjoys herself on her own, right? And it works as this nice little counterbalance to the tragic stuff that happens later on in the flashbacks and whatnot, right? So basically, we're seeing Batchack Man fighting 17, and then it just cuts back ever so often to her story, right? But her story takes up a huge chunk of the episode, right? But it doesn't feel like, 'cause you could argue about peace and whatnot, but it doesn't feel like it's out of place. It feels like it needs
Right.
to be there just to add a little bit more layers into the story, right? And just like the more I think about it, the more I kind of realize that it's not really about Batchack Man. Like, it's really about the world around him and the characters that are associated with him. That's what it is. Because I was kind of happy and not seeing enough of him, right? But even though you don't see much of him here, when he's around, it kind of makes an impact, and not just with the fight between him and Amina, but what happens afterwards, right? I don't want to spoil that, right? And it leads to a very, admittedly, very jaw-dropping twist near the end though, where I was like, all right, you're impressive, my man. This is really impressive, man. And it makes for like a nice little cliffhanger dread, because yeah, up next is the final episode, and yeah, it really had me like pumped to see what happens next, right? So
Right.
yeah,
Right.
again, props to Sydney for just coming through with just a solid story, man, and just how it was put together in terms of balancing Michelle's story with the Battrack Man situation. Yeah, really impressed me, man. I was like surprised though, you know what I mean? If I do have a couple flaws though, is that there are a few moments where the audio, is how to say it? It's like more like when it comes to dialogue, you would hear the audio more on the left channel. It's kind of weird, but that there's some technical stuff that needs to be fixed, right? Even one moment, and I wouldn't spoil where it happens, where literally it just kind of cuts back to to stereo, so to speak, right? So yeah, so let's just kind of
Was it
check on the audio levels,
this by intention? Is by intention or just a problem
No,
with
no,
this
no, no,
actual?
not. It wasn't intentional at all. That's the
Okay.
problem. Yeah, yeah. But
Okay.
I
Okay.
picked up on it because I was listening to this with headphones on. You know what I mean? So I
Right.
don't know
Right.
how it would sound with speakers, but whatever, right? Yeah. But yeah, other than that though, yeah, this really did surprise me in terms of just the structure of it. That's at the end of the day really what impressed me, because at first I was like, I don't know if this working, because give him enough Batchack Man, give him more of the Michelle character, but it's like, no, this actually like stand a gel together and makes sense, though, you know what I mean?
Right.
Especially like near the climax and whatnot, man. So yeah, things are happening, man. Really, really impressive things are happening here so far, man. And I'm really like legit excited to see where this story ends, man. So yeah, again, not sure when we're gonna get this finale. I suspect it would be sometime in June, you know. But at the moment, what we get here, man, and I forgot to mention, Sydney also co-directed this episode as well too. I thought that
Right.
she did a great job as well, man. So yeah, I mean, props to everyone who worked in it. Props to Angelia Bassoon, who plays Michelle Hernandez, of course. Keon, who plays Batchack Man and whatnot. Aaliyah Watley, who plays Amina West. And just a few other people whose names I won't reveal, because if I do, that'll be spoilers, right? So yeah, I'm kind of excited to see how episode 7 plays out, man. You know what I mean? So I will be there for sure to check it out, and of course you could expect a review from me of that episode, right? So in between time, as always, you could always go on GT Caribbean Network and check it out for yourself. Also, of course, feel free to check out the other episodes of the Peacemakers thus far. And yeah, as I said before, just can't wait to see what we get with the season finale, man. So Keon, you really have me intrigued here. You've been intriguing me pretty much. You have me excited at this point on, man. So I just hope that you don't miss with that finale, man. So yeah, can't wait to see it, man.